But we start with this big story now. The four Moti brothers are now back with their family. They were found in Vuwani in Limpopo after being kidnapped 3 weeks ago. They were on their way to school at the time. eNCA has obtained exclusive footage of the moments before the brothers were kidnapped. And I'm joined now by eNCA's Heidi Giokos, who's been tracking that story. So Heidi, let's start there. TV, visual medium, and people want to piece together events, right? Because this is a story that captured the imaginations and, I guess, the fears of many South Africans. We have now exclusive footage of the moments before they were kidnapped.
Yes, certainly, Tulas, and we were also asked by police to safeguard this footage because they were worried that this would jeopardize getting the boys back home safely. But we do know at about 11 o'clock last night, those boys were found. The police then took them home. But what's interesting about this footage, Tulas, is that police have identified, and those that were investigating this matter, identified not only two vehicles that we do know in the media, which we understand it was a Kia Sportage and a black Mercedes-Benz moments before this actually happened. And I'm hoping those visuals are playing now, where you can in fact see, you can actually see there was a orange ST. Moments before, you could see a white Fortuner, and then you see a silver Kia Sportage. Then you see the BMW in which the boys were in with the driver, and soon after that you see a black BMW, a black Mercedes-Benz. You will see that footage now on your screen. The Fortuner, there it is, the BMW, the Kia Sportage, and there's the black Merc. It's very fast, and what's unusual about this, and what's also been identified by investigators, is that everybody was speeding. It was very unusual that a driver with four young boys traveling to school was going at such a high speed, and that's why a lot of people didn't see what was happening and where it happened. That's the road that they were driving on just before they turned onto that bridge, going onto the highway, traveling towards school. And where that kidnapping actually took place was at a point where you actually can't see what's happening on top of the highway and underneath just before you get onto the highway.
So that footage was captured moments before they were kidnapped? Moments
before. It couldn't even have been 5 minutes before that footage was captured. And of course, we do understand that police have other footage of when the boys were either in the black Mercedes-Benz or in the Kia Sportage. So those vehicles have been identified, and this is why we couldn't use the footage before, because we were told that they worried they changed the vehicles, and those are the vehicles that have been identified and marked. We do, of course, know also that that BMW where the children were in was found later, not where the actual hijacking took place or the kidnapping took place. So that is footage that actually shows you a piece of what happened moments before these four brothers were kidnapped.
So officially then from police, Heidi, and well done on keeping the discipline of
very difficult.
Keeping your word that you were not going to use this footage until it was safe to actually do that. Sometimes we have to be responsible. You can't always be chasing a scoop and wanting to be ahead of everyone. So they were returned and found in Vuwani.
Yes.
What are police telling us about the circumstances at this point?
So we do understand that the boys were apparently dropped off near Vuwani, and then the boys tried to find a nearby house. They went to the nearest house that they could actually see. You can imagine it was 11 o'clock at night, between 11 o'clock and midnight last night, so they were trying to find anybody to help them. We do understand then, according to police, that when they got to this house, there was actually a young boy or a young child that said, but these are the four brothers that have been kidnapped and everybody is looking for. This is when we understand the police were called. A doctor was also called on scene to make sure that the kids are safe and healthy, and soon after that they were released into the care of their parents. So we do understand that the children were in high spirits, of course, very happy to be back home and to be released. But we also know, Tulas, that this is very common in kidnappings, where people are left on the side of the road and then they need to find their way. We're not sure if a ransom has been paid. Those details are unfortunately not very clear. But let's perhaps listen to the National Police spokesperson, Vish Naidu, on that.
When these children made their way to the first house they found, and fortunately, one of the children in that house immediately recognized the children as being the four that were reported missing or abducted, and they asked the parents to assist in calling the police, which of course was done, and now we were able to reunite the children with their parents. At this stage, we haven't really spoken to the children. I think it can be appreciated that the children have been through a very traumatic situation in the last 3 weeks. Exactly today is 3 weeks. And, we just wanted to give them some time with their parents. And then today we will try and arrange for our forensic and clinical psychologists to interview them and see what information they can provide us in assistance to our ongoing investigation of kidnapping.
What a story, Heidi.
And what's even more tragic to us is that the youngest one was 6 years old, and it was his birthday last week, and he wasn't at home to be with his parents. But we're truly grateful
Thank
that they
goodness
are
they're
back home.
together. Absolutely. Heidi Giokos tracking that story for you. Look out for more of Heidi's reporting on that story throughout the day here on eNCA.